Nobody taught us this. Not our mothers, not our teachers, not the world we grew up in. Nobody told us that there's a kind of energy inside a woman, a quiet, powerful energy that can shift everything. How she's treated, how she feels when she wakes up in the morning, how love finds her instead of running from her. It's called magnetic feminine energy. And here's what breaks my heart: most women are walking through life with this power sleeping inside them. Dormant. Forgotten. Buried under years of exhaustion, heartbreak, and trying too hard for people who never tried for them. You've done everything right. You've been patient. You've been kind. You've given more than you've ever received. And still, something feels off. Something feels missing. What if I told you that the missing piece isn't something you need to find outside yourself? What if it's already inside you, just waiting to be awakened? Today, we're waking it up. Together. Before I share these 7 signs with you, I need you to understand why this matters so much. Because this isn't about becoming more attractive to men. This isn't about performing for the world. This isn't about being liked by everyone. This is about something much deeper. You see, when a woman's feminine energy is magnetic, her whole life shifts. She stops chasing. She starts attracting. She stops explaining herself. She starts trusting herself. She stops fighting for crumbs of love. She starts receiving real love from others, and most importantly, from herself. And here's what nobody tells you: this kind of energy doesn't just change how others treat you. It changes how you feel when you're alone. It changes how you sleep at night. It changes the quality of your thoughts, your peace, your hope for the future. Think about it. When you're constantly running, constantly proving, constantly worried about what others think, how does that feel in your body? Exhausting. Heavy. Like carrying a weight that was never yours to carry. But when you're grounded in your feminine energy, when you're magnetic, you feel light. You feel at home in your own skin. You feel like yourself. And that feeling, my dear, is not a luxury. It's your birthright. I believe that every woman deserves to feel magnetic, not for the world, for herself. Because when you feel magnetic, you make better decisions. You choose better partners. You raise healthier children. You build a life that actually feels good, not just looks good. And for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, this becomes even more important. You've already lived. You've already experienced disappointment, heartbreak, maybe even betrayal. You've carried responsibilities that nobody thanked you for. You've given pieces of yourself to jobs, families, relationships. Now is the time to gather those pieces back. Now is the time to remember who you are at your core. Not the version of you that was shaped by other people's expectations, the real you, the magnetic you, the version of you that the world needs to see. That's why this matters. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 signs that your feminine energy is magnetic. And I want to be clear, these aren't signs that you either have or don't have. That's not how this works. Think of these as mirrors. Each one will help you see yourself more clearly. Each one will show you where you're already glowing and where you might want to grow. By the end of this video, you'll understand what magnetic feminine energy really looks like in everyday life. You'll recognize the habits, the mindsets, the quiet choices that create this kind of energy. And more than that, you'll walk away with practical things you can do starting today to strengthen your own magnetic presence, not fake confidence, not performance, not pretending to be someone you're not. Real, grounded, beautiful magnetism that comes from the inside out. Are you ready? Let's begin. Sign number 1, you don't chase, you attract. Let me start with why this matters. In our world, we've been taught that if you want something, you have to go get it. You have to hustle. You have to push. You have to fight. And in some areas of life, that's true. Career goals, education, building something new, yes, effort is required. But when it comes to love, connection, and relationships, chasing often pushes away the very thing you want. Here's the truth that changed my understanding of feminine energy. Chasing comes from fear. Attracting comes from wholeness. When you chase someone, whether it's a man, a friend, or even approval from family, you're sending a message to the universe and to yourself. That message is, I am not enough as I am. I need this person to complete me. I need their attention to feel worthy, and people can sense that energy. They may not be able to name it, but they feel it. But when you attract, you're sending a completely different message. You're saying, I am already whole. I am already valuable. I am open to love, but I am not desperate for it. I have a full life, and I'm inviting the right people to join me in it. That energy is irresistible, not because it's playing a game, but because it's authentic. Let me tell you about a woman I know. Let's call her Grace. Grace is 43 years old. She was divorced at 38 after a marriage that slowly drained her. Her husband wasn't a bad person, but he never really saw her. She spent 15 years trying to be good enough for him, cooking perfect meals, keeping a perfect home, never complaining. But nothing she did made him love her the way she needed to be loved. After the divorce, Grace did something unexpected. Instead of immediately jumping into dating, she took a year off. She called it her becoming year. She focused on healing. She started therapy. She reconnected with old friends. She picked up painting again, something she loved in college but abandoned. She traveled alone for the first time in her life, and something shifted. She stopped looking for love in every man she met. She stopped analyzing every interaction, wondering, is he the one? She became genuinely content, not perfectly happy. Life still had hard days, but content, peaceful. And then, without searching, love found her. She met someone at an art exhibition. He noticed her not because she was trying to be noticed, but because she was fully present, fully engaged with the art, fully herself. That's attraction. That's magnetism. So what can you do to cultivate this energy in your own life? First, ask yourself honestly, where am I chasing right now? Maybe you're texting someone more than they text you. Maybe you're always the one making plans. Maybe you're giving more than you're receiving in a friendship. Maybe you're constantly seeking approval from a family member who never gives it. Notice the chasing. Don't judge yourself for it. We've all done it. Just notice. Second, redirect that energy toward yourself. Every time you feel the urge to chase, ask, what would happen if I invested this energy in me instead? What if the hour you spend waiting for his text, you spent reading a book that nourishes your mind? What if the emotional energy you use worrying about what she thinks of you, you use to plan something beautiful for your own life? Third, practice what I call open-handed living. Imagine holding your desires with open hands instead of clenched fists. When you clench, you hold on too tight. When you open your hands, you allow things to come and go freely. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you trust. You trust that what's meant for you will find you. And what's not meant for you can leave without destroying you. A woman with magnetic feminine energy doesn't chase because she knows her worth doesn't depend on catching anything or anyone. She attracts because she is full, grounded, and at peace. Sign number 2, your peace is unshakable. Now, I want to be very careful here because I don't want you to misunderstand this sign. Having unshakable peace doesn't mean you never feel upset. It doesn't mean you're emotionless. It doesn't mean life never gets hard. What it means is this: you have a deep center, a quiet place inside you that remains calm even when everything around you is chaotic. Think of a lake. On the surface, there might be waves. Wind might create ripples. Sometimes storms come, but deep beneath the surface, the water is still, quiet, undisturbed. A woman with magnetic feminine energy is like that lake. She feels things deeply. That's part of her feminine nature. She experiences sadness, frustration, even anger. But she doesn't let those emotions throw her completely off course. She doesn't let other people's chaos become her chaos. Why does this matter so much? Because peace is one of the most attractive qualities a human being can have. When you are around someone who is peaceful, you feel safe. You feel calm. Their energy settles you. But when you're around someone who is constantly reactive, constantly anxious, constantly drama, how does that feel? Exhausting. Unsettling. Like walking on eggshells. And here's something important for women over 30 to understand. By this point in life, you've probably experienced enough chaos, enough drama, enough storms that weren't even yours to weather. You've earned your peace. It's time to protect it. Let me share another story. There's a woman named Adaze. She's 51, a mother of 3 grown children, and a grandmother to a little girl named Joy. Adaze's life has not been easy. She lost her husband unexpectedly 10 years ago. She raised her children mostly alone. Her family had financial struggles. One of her sons went through a very difficult period with addiction. By all accounts, Adaze had every reason to be bitter, anxious, broken. But when you meet her, that's not what you experience. You experience warmth, calm, a woman who has been through fire and come out refined, not destroyed. People constantly ask her, "How are you so peaceful? How do you stay so calm?" And her answer is always the same. "I learned that I cannot control what happens to me, but I can control what happens in me." She made a decision somewhere along the way to stop giving her peace away, to stop letting every problem steal her joy, to stop reacting to everything as if it were an emergency. That decision didn't make her life perfect, but it made her life livable. It made her a safe place for her children and grandchildren. It made her someone people wanted to be around. That's magnetic. So how do you build this kind of unshakable peace? First, you have to understand that peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of inner stability despite problems. Stop waiting for life to get easier before you feel peaceful. Choose peace now, in the middle of the mess. Second, become very protective of what you allow into your mind and heart. What are you consuming every day? What news are you watching? What conversations are you having? Who are you spending time with? If your inputs are mostly negative, chaotic, and draining, your internal state will reflect that. You cannot watch drama all day and expect to feel peaceful. Guard your inputs. Choose things that nourish your peace. Third, develop a daily practice that anchors you. This could be prayer. This could be meditation. This could be journaling. This could be a morning walk in nature. This could be simply sitting in silence for 10 minutes before the day begins. Find something that brings you back to your center and do it consistently. A woman with magnetic feminine energy protects her peace like the treasure it is. She knows that her peace affects everyone around her, her children, her partner, her friends, even strangers. She doesn't give that power away cheaply. Sign number 3, you speak with soft power. This is one of the most misunderstood aspects of feminine energy, so let me explain carefully. Soft power is not weakness. It's not being passive. It's not letting people walk all over you. Soft power is the ability to influence, command respect, and express yourself without aggression, without harshness, without losing your grace. It's strength wrapped in gentleness. It's firmness delivered with warmth. And it is incredibly magnetic. Why? Because anyone can yell. Anyone can be harsh. Anyone can tear someone down with words. But it takes a truly powerful woman to speak truth with kindness, to hold her ground without losing her composure, to say no without cruelty, to give feedback without attacking. In our world, we often confuse loudness with strength. We think the person who shouts the most wins. But true influence rarely works that way. Think about the people who have most impacted your life. Were they the ones who screamed at you? Or were they the ones who spoke to you with calm wisdom, who made you feel safe enough to really hear them. A woman with magnetic feminine energy understands that her voice is powerful, so powerful that she doesn't need to raise it. Let me give you an example from everyday life. Imagine a mother with teenage children. Teenagers, as anyone who has raised them knows, can be challenging. They push boundaries. They test limits. They sometimes say hurtful things. Now imagine two different responses to a teenager who comes home late without calling. Response 1, where have you been? Do you have any idea how worried I was? You are so irresponsible. You never think about anyone but yourself. Give me your phone. You're grounded for a month. Response 2, I'm glad you're home safe. I was worried when I didn't hear from you. In this family, we communicate. We respect each other. Tomorrow, we need to talk about what happened and what the consequence will be. Tonight, get some rest. Which response is stronger? At first glance, the first one seems more powerful because it's loud and forceful. But the second response, that's soft power. The mother in the second example made her point clearly. She didn't excuse the behavior, she set a boundary. But she did it without losing control, without damaging the relationship, without modeling the very disrespect she was correcting. Her teenager will actually hear her. Her words will land differently.